Good evening, morning, or afternoon, depending where you are in this known world. We're here for the next live war point of the first Bardic Wars. At the moment, we have the original songs of the modern Middle Ages war point. And to jump right into it, our first performer is Harun ibn Ular with the Middle Kingdom Alliance. Name of the piece is A Noble at Home.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you enjoy all of our performances tonight. Very soon the kingdom will open once more, and our weekends will fill up with feasting and more. But to live life medieval takes the weekdays too. When you're a noble at home, there's just so much to do. Like what, you ask? Well, there's crops in the fields that need to be tended. There are structures and fences that need to be mended. There are livestock to manage because we like to eat eggs or just watch them run around on their chickeny legs. That's life when you're noble at home. Well, lest I get rusty, there's time on the pedal. Lest I show up to war and get rung like a bell. But the one thing about it, it's easy to select when you fight an opponent who doesn't fight back. That's life when you're noble at life, when you're noble, life when you're noble at home. Try to look on the bright side when your spirits are plunging, because complaining will just get you sent to the dungeon. So be merry, feasting will fill all your wishes. Though I wish we had someone to clean up these dishes. That's life when you're noble at life, when you're noble at life, when you're noble at home. All this crafting and sewing and making and mending, all these projects, they seem never ending, but then why do we do it when the process can suck? Well, we just want to look fancy as fancy people. That's life when you're a noble at home. Away with you, knave. Well, there's music and laughter and dancing and more. I can't wait to show you the rest of the tour. What? I'm out of time? Oh. I was caught unawares, so I'll leave you to guess what goes on upstairs. That's life when you're noble at home.
And we're back. Thank you very much, Harun. Next, we have Dorcas Whitecap with the Middle Kingdom Alliance. performing After the Season of War.
Well, you know what? My camera will work when it is ready to work. So everyone knows that the role of a bard is to stir up the people when it's time for war. But less well known is the role of a bard to make the people glad to be at home when they have to be at home. Hearken now to a lesson learned, better the grace of ploughland turned than the mire and muck of a battlefield churned by the hungry boots of armies at war. A man may mark the turning year by plowshares bite and scythe blades shear, but the time between is for sword and spear. For he owes his liege the season of war. And you who dream of victory grand, who long to sup at the king's right hand, should have a care for the humble land that lies in the path of armies at war. The cry of birds that chase the plough is a melody more sweet, I vow, than the greedy shrieks of carrion crows that feed in the swath of armies at war. A newborn babe may cry at night, but his mother's voice will soothe his fright. But a new-made soldier wakes still light, with none to ease the terrors of war. And you who eat with jeweled knife, who take a dowered lady to wife, should give a thought to a common man's life when you plan to raise a levy for war. A fairer cause to bend the bow is to hunt the flesh of the fallow doe than to seek the life of a distant foe who would seek your own in the season of war. On summer hillsides cattle graze till harvest casts its golden haze, and the chilling wind and shortening days soon bring an end to the waging of war. And you who wage a great campaign to win a crown and a noble name will face defeat by freezing rain when nature ends the season of war. Hearken now to a lesson learned, heed the year wheel's stately turn. Snow will fall and ice will churn and bring to an end the season of war.
Thank you very much. And following Dorcas, next up is Morgan Wolfsingen of the East Atlantia Alliance with Requiem.
Many know the tale of Tamlin, and how fair Jeanette's courage won him from the fair folk that night at Miles Cross. But I've always liked to look at such tales and ask, what next? So I took this story forward many years and wrote this song. This is Requiem. Tamlin is gone to Carterhall the fair, and he is gone down by the well to pull the roses there. He had not pulled a rose, but barely three, when up then came the fairy queen, her beauty rare to see. you should come and seek for me here far from home and fire. Time's passing's made her no less fair, nor chilled my heart's desire. I pull the roses for Jeanette to lie upon her bier. But time has ta'en her down that road which no man can deny. And so I pull the roses here to take to her and die. You need not follow down that road, nor leave the world of light. But saving true Thomas himself, you were my fairest knight. And if you'd be what you once were, then come and take my hand, and you shall tread the bonny road that leads to fair Elfland. I thank you for your courtesy, 'twas always without peer, and hope the memory of that time will ever give you cheer. But to bring back that bonny night, I fears beyond all art, for as I did so long ago, I follow still my heart. He bowed and took his leave of her. She stood and watched him go. And if she rue the choice he'd made, then never did it show. He took the roses to Jeanette, them in her hands he laid. Then knelt he by her silent form and followed her away. Buried them within one grave, the roses they laid there. And from those roses grew a bush with blooms beyond compare. It blooms when kissed by summer winds, it blooms through winter snows. And when the moon shines bright and clear, the fairy queen there goes.
Thank you, Morgan. Our next performer is Tiern Bard from the West Kingdom Alliance with Honor's Lament.
There we go. This song, Honor's Lament, was inspired by the Battle of Kettreth, as was recounted in the 6th century Welsh poem, Igadodden. When I was a young lad, before I came of age, I heard tales of honor, set my foot upon these ways. I read of long dead heroes, heard tales of ancient wars. I saw the warriors shining, I heard the armies roar. I met an aged veteran, he told me honor's dead. Young men kill for lust of gold, or just to take your head. He talked of all the friends he'd lost, the times he'd been betrayed. But all I heard was of the wealth and honors he'd been paid. Now honor is my virtue, honor is my trade. Honor is the stone upon which I whet my blade. While I was working in the fields, word came of Saxon raids. The warriors were gathering to meet them with their blades. I left my home and family and leapt into the fray. My sword and spear took many lives in honor's name that day. I ran home in glory to tell all of my tale, but I was brought up staring at the smoke that filled the vale. The houses all were burning, my family all dead. Their bodies dark lumps on the ground on which the ravens fed. But honor is my virtue, honor is my trade, honor is the stone upon which I whet my blade. I swore an oath of vengeance against the Saxon race, but the price of honor was not so easily paid. For years I sold my sword and skills to chieftains and to kings, leading men to battles of which the bards still sing. And honor was my virtue, honor was my trade, honor was the stone upon which I whet my blade. Now after years of fighting, the scars ring my arms round, and many is the friend I've had to sink beneath the ground. The gold torque round my neck and the bracelets on my arm, gladly would I trade them all to go back to my farm. But honor is my virtue, honor is my trade, honor is the stone upon which I whet my blade. Last night at the mead hall, with visions in his head, I saw a young boy stare at me. I told him honor's dead. I told him young men kill for gold or just to take your head. But he only heard that inner voice to which he had been wed. Now honor is his virtue, honor is his trade, honor is the stone upon which he whets his blade. And honor is my virtue, honor is my trade, honor is the stone upon which I whet my blade. Honor is the stone upon which I whet my blade.
Thank you, Tyrn. Next up, we have Albreda Ismeria from the Middle Kingdom Alliance with either Jean or Jean Hachette.
Jean Hachette. So this song is about Jean Hachette, Jean the Hatchet, who's credited with preventing the 1472 siege of Beauvais by rallying the town to fight when she took up an axe and cut down the enemy standard bearer as he topped the wall. Beauvais has held an annual march in her honor every June 27th, broken only for a short time in the early 1900s. Let me get a note. Raise up your sword or bring the axe down, send soldier and standard to fall to the ground. Freedom is worth all the struggle and sweat. Step up to the battle like Jean Hachette. I was working high up the cathedral's walls when a crow made me look with its squabbling caws. I was watching the hills as the bird flapped and crowed when out of the west the Burgundians rode. King Louis and Charles du Burgundy fought over cities and towns that King Louis had bought. Charles sent men out to pillage and slay. They set up their tents and laid siege to Beauvais. Raise up your sword, or bring the axe down. Send soldier and standard to fall to the ground. Freedom is worth all the struggle and sweat. Step up to the battle like Jean Hachette. It was June 27th and spirits were low, and the siege ladder spanning the moat down below. The Duke's greater forces were winning the day. A soldier with a standard topped the walls of Beauvais. A farm girl just 16 named Jean Lenné grabbed up a hatchet and entered the fray. With vigor and will cut the enemy down, sent soldier and standard to fall to the ground. Raise up your sword, oh bring the axe down, send soldier and standard to fall to the ground. Freedom is worth all the struggle and sweat. Step up to the battle like Jean Hachette. The men cheered the girl and their spirits soared high. If she could do that, they'd more strength to try. The townsfolk and guards rallied as the sun set. They jumped into battle like Jean Hachette. The battle raged on and the garrison strived. Next morning the king's reinforcements arrived. So each June 27th we'll march through the town to remember the jeunes filles that kept the siege down. Raise up your sword, oh bring the axe down, send soldier and standard to fall to the ground. Freedom is worth all the struggle and sweat. Step up to the battle like Jean Hachette. The king gave her gold and a man and a fete, for Jean Lenné fought and became Jean Hachette. A hatchet indeed, one that Charles would rue. Her stroke cut to Burgundy's triumph in two. A woman can make the determining blow, but you can't make a difference if you don't go. There's strength in great numbers, although that is true. Just one makes a difference, let that one be you. Raise up your sword, or bring the axe down, send soldier and standard to fall to the ground. Freedom is worth all the struggle and sweat. Step up to the battle like Jean Hachette. Lift up your voices for Jean Hachette. Fight for your sisters like Jean Hachette. Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you, Albreda. Gwendolyn Aldwin is our next performer from the Western Alliance, and with the Ballad of Lady Sam.
A song inspired by our mighty female warriors. In olden times, not far from here, there lived a maiden fair, o'er 6 feet tall and strong of limbs, green eyes and show-cropped hair. She swung a sword with ease and grace, a warrior was she. Though many men would be her lord, she would not bend a knee. Her name was Lady Sam, you see, her chosen moniker. No sitting in a keep for her, her favorite place was war. Mistake me not, she longed for love, a fine man at her side. But bow her head, and yes, my lord, on this she'd not abide. Now many men did seek her hand for lust, perhaps for gain. Just pick one, Sam, her mother said, they're really all the same. I'd see you wed, your holding safe, ere I do pass away. But Sam refused, she knew her mind, and this is what she'd say. Oh, mother dear, you know me well, think you I'd e'er submit to a man who seeks to rule my life? I will not stand for it. But hear me now, this pledge I'll make to ease your worried mind. The man who defeats me true and fair, to him I will say aye. For Lady Sam was skilled, you see, undefeated on the field. Her years of training did pay off, her foes all forced to yield. And so the call went out that day to suitors one and all. And many came with shield and sword to make our lady fall. The men all seemed the same to her, her wealth was all they sought. Except for one lone warrior, his interest was not caught. He stood apart from all the men, his face was filled with strife. His father lord had sent him there to win himself a wife. The tournament began next day, the men lined up in turn. But Lady Sam dispatched them all, her answer they would learn. With sword and shield she took them down, with mace and staff and pike, till none were left save one fine lord, she'd never seen his like. The man it was the same, you know, who'd loathed to take a wife. For all the girls he'd met thus far, he'd rather lose his life. But Lady Sam was bold and proud in victory as she stood. He watched her take opponents down, his heart was lost for good. At last it was his turn to take the field against Lady Sam. She sized him up and realized he was lion more than lamb. They battled fierce o'er stone and grass, their skills were closely matched. But Lady Sam was weary from all the suitors she'd dispatched. He slipped beneath her defenses and knocked away her sword. He could have pressed his suit right then and made him call her lord. Instead he caught her arm as she would have fallen to her knee, and said, I'll only take a wife who stands alongside me. Now Lady Sam was shocked, of course, as she looked into his eyes, for at last she found a man who saw her more than just a prize. She took his hand and gave a smile and asked her new lord's name. It's funny you should ask, he said, our names they are the same. His name was Samuel Erickson, his friends all called him Sam. He kissed his bride upon the lips, knew it was a lucky man. And so the two went off to live a life in peace of war. For Lady and Lord Sam had need to search for love no more.
Okay, thank you very much. And looking over my list here, thank you, Gwendolyn. We have Eodine Ruad with the East Atlantia Alliance with Separate Path.
I speak for those forgotten or ignored until all the songs are sung. May these lyrics honor the joy and passion others have brought to our lives. And in this song, may we find the solace and hope for the pain of their loss. Laugh lines around faded eyes, each glance a dozen tales. They saw the wandering seasons, watched songbirds and grandchildren, and never thought their spirit would fail. The agony of life's slow decline, the flicker it turns blazes into, made their passing a mercy and regret out of the nothing I could do. I sing for the faces we'll never hold again, the hands whose strength is no more. The warm drinks on cold days that welcomed us home, now sitting still behind a never darkened door. They say this hurt will pass somewhere along my path, still some days I can't ignore. Riddles and dice on rainy days, trailing behind in your footsteps. Amber sunsets on fields, cracked ribs that wouldn't yield, proud smiles that left me breathless. Chilling laughs like harbingers bid my disbelief unfold, and fell like curtains between us to hide away the ugliness and mold. I sing for the nods that brightened our days, the feet beside which we ran, the blood that still binds them into our lives, trickling through the gaps in anger's dam. They say this hurt will pass somewhere along my path, though I don't think it ever can. Small hours lit by campfire, strength shining in your smiles, mending hearts while they're breaking, adventures worth the taking. Our bond shrank those years and miles, when silently you closed your door and left me fumbling through the dark with these unanswered questions, wondering where and who you now are. So I cling to those moments we breathed the same air and dreamed on those same stars. I sing for the stories we'll never write or share, the laughs only in our eyes, the twilights that taught us how little we know about this world and the truth that it belies. They say this hurt will pass somewhere along my path, but it still won't answer these whys. So let that morning wind blow you where it will, through rage, silence, or tears. Grief comes out different no matter where we look, after weeks, months, or all of your years. Maybe your hurt won't pass, and it's not a separate path. Just don't honor it with guilt or fear. Papa Leaf.
Aodine, thank you very much. Next, we have Brenna Froggy Odunye with the Middle Kingdom Alliance, performing Shield That Took an Army.
Good afternoon. Happy to be here. Thank you all. And I hope you enjoy a song about a shield maiden with the grand force of Shadow Legion. I stood upon the battlefield, a girl amongst her brothers, left arm bracing against my shield, my sword grasped in the other. My heart was pounding hard as hell, my breath was puffing warmly, yet all the while I stood stark still, with shields that shook an army. My braids hold tight my long dark hair, my helm fits me most firmly, My armor's weight I gladly bear along this warrior's journey. When all at once a ragged yell breaks out from all around me, now comes the part I know so well. Brace shields to guard an army. From through the mists I see their forms, 500 foe approaching. Fear not these spindling tiny worms, their taunt comes in reproaching. The charge comes down upon us hard, the enemy lines come swarming. Through thundering, crashing, roaring charge, our shields hold back an army. One brother falls upon my left, a hole in our defenses. We step together in a shift, no time for grieving senses. As heightened battle rages peak, headlong we meet the frenzy. Our fury holds the line complete. Strong shields defend this army. Blow by blow we stand our ground. No spearman can disarm us. My strength makes my brothers proud. The battle fevers bound us. Valhalla's gates will open wide for all who fall too early. Their horns of mead they'll raise with pride. My shield stood with their army. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brenna. And now we have Jean Kilmeny with the East Atlantia Alliance performing The Oak.
I wrote this song in 2017 upon the passing of a great man whose symbol was the oak, which is what he stood like. I hope we all do the same. I will be firm and I will be true. I will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall. Some walk paths paved with gold. Power is bought and power is sold, and people are things to be claimed. But I will be firm and I will be true. I will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall. Some march paths forged with might. The power of force is always right, and people are brutes to be tamed. But I will be firm and I will be true. I will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall. Some mince paths painted with words. Power is in truth's broken shards, and people are sheep to be blamed. But I will be firm and I will be true. I will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall. My path is bound with love and truth. Power protects the old and the youth, and people are friends to be named. For we will be firm and we will be true. We will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall. Come join the path of charity. Power is shared to make all free, and people have worth all the same. For we will be firm and we will be true. We will give kindness to all. 'Tis not the crown of leaves, but deep roots that make the oak stand tall.
Kilmeny, thank you very much. And next we have Maeve Nishavan with the East Atlantia Alliance performing Back in Time.
She seems to be having tech issues. You can move on to the next person.
We can hear you now, Maeve.
Oh, good.
If you're able
Can
to
you see me now.
If you're able to turn on your camera.
Working on that. Hang on. Yay!
And there we are.
I do apologize, folks. But I'm doing a song called Back in Time, which is where I'd like to go right now, where we don't have any video issues. Tech is not my friend. However, I love the SCA and I love all the things we do, like before we had to do it with tech. Anyway, my song is called Back in Time and I hope y'all like it. Well, it's hey, hey, ho, down the road we go to raise our pavilions and our voices. Be it song and dance or sword and lance, we'll rejoice with friends and happy noises. 'Cause we don't mind leaving the present behind. Honor, glory, bliss will be who we wish when we go back in time. On the list field grand, we'll fight hand to hand for honor and our consorts fair. Arrow, axe, and spear go flying here while the horses thunder over there. And we don't mind leaving the present behind. Honor, glory, bliss will be who we wish when we go back in time. Gentle show and tell what they do so well. Illumination, sparkle in the sun. Homebrewed wine and mead, homemade lace and bead. In the old ways, all these things are done. 'Cause we don't mind leaving the present behind. Honor, glory, bliss will be who we wish when we go back in time. Wearing garb so rare, lords and ladies fair into court to wend their graceful way, where the royalty and nobility give awards to the victors of the day. 'Cause we don't mind leaving the present behind. Honor, glory, merry and sweet. Clear the tables, dance till we retire, and we'll sing our glory in song and story. The candle goes round the Bardic fire, 'cause we don't mind leaving the present behind. Honor, glory, bliss will be who we wish when we go back in time. Then it's hey, hey, ho, back down the road we go. So weary we can barely crawl, with a soggy tent, all our money spent. And we'll tell you it was worth it all, 'cause we don't mind leaving the present behind. Honor, glory, bliss will be who we wish when we go back in time. Honor, glory, bliss will be who we wish when we go back in time. Thank you.
Maeve, thank you. And our next performer is Ciela Thorsdottir with the Western Alliance, performing In Praise of Gabriel.
Hey friends, it's an honor to be here with you all. I'm really excited to hear everything that's been going on tonight. One of my personal favorite things about the SDA is our ceremonies and the opportunity that we as bards have to help our friends make them beautiful and meaningful experiences, not only for themselves to recognize their achievements, but for the audience. So this is a song that I created actually to honor a friend of mine who was being recognized with the accolade of knighthood. Golden son of Adiantum, chivalry and honor's anthem, battle born before your king come. Gaudeamus, laudis sibi debitas, referamus, worthy of great recognition, twice the royal silver griffin, born aloft through deeds volition, marked by virtue and ambition. Gaudeamus, laudis sibi debitas, referamus, rose of roses, barren lion, artist bold, and Grail's own scion, belt of red to white shall lighten. Gaudeamus, laudis sibi debitas, referamus. Bear the buffet and feel no pain. Swear your oath and take the gold chain. Grace and virtue swear to maintain, worthy always of this refrain. Gaudeamus, laudis sibi debitas, referamus. Gaudeamus, laudis sibi debitas, referamus.
Thank you very much, Ciela. Our next performer is Alais de Garrigue with the Middle Kingdom Alliance, performing the Towers of Agincourt.
Greetings, I am Alais de Garrigue from the Kingdom of Callantyre, and this is my original song, The Towers of Agincourt. The call of war is heard again, young Henry claims our throne, and we seek vengeance for our kin, the English must atone. For French blood spilled at Poitiers, good men at Crecy lost. Now we shall have our glory day, let England bear the cost. The eve of battle sets upon a field of tents so vast, 70,000 Frenchmen strong for battle here amassed. From o'er the hilltop smoke is seen, the English camp is plain, their bonfires weakly smoldering in cold October rain. The time has come to leave my mark, with blood spilled by the sword, and in the distance I can see the towers of Agincourt. The morning sun is cloaked in mist, but still our armor shines. Arrayed as for a tourney list, our knights form up in lines. Dukes and counts and barons in the front make quite a sight. Pennants, surcoats, plumes, and lances, colors shining bright. Young Henry surely never saw an enemy so great. He comes to us with peasant men, no coats of mail or plate. Bare-armed archers lead the group, and standing out in front, they've built a flimsy palisade they think will bear the brunt. The time has come to leave my mark, with blood spilled by the sword, and in the distance I can see the Towers of Agincourt. Minutes waiting seem to crawl with glory now so near. Heralds' voices, trumpet calls, the time to charge is here. I spur my horse to action, but his feet stick in the mud. What nonsense holds me back? It's time to shed some English blood. Horses stumble front and back, our knights all packed so tight. There's no room to maneuver now, much less to try and fight. Wounded horses rear and kick, too frightened to control. The riders slip beneath their feet, great hooves then take their toll. The time has come to leave my mark, with blood spilled by the sword, and in the distance I can see the Towers of Agincourt. The rain is stopped, but now a new rain plummets from the sky. All around me men and horses scream out as they die. Our proud knights fall, so many fall, with arrows in their chests. Their armor pierced as easily as eggs in sparrows' nests. Those English peasants, lightly armed, move quickly across the field, while our knights seem so weighted down with armor, sword, and shield. Now the English come at me with cudgels, knives, and spears. I grip my sword, prepared to fight. Their war cries fill my ears. The time has come to leave my mark, with blood spilled by the sword. And in the distance I can see the Towers of Agincourt. I raise my sword to block a blow, an axe swings at my head. No room for doubt or error now, one misstep and I'm dead. My sword sings through the air, my foeman stumbles on the hill. The axe slips from his hands and then I move in for the kill. A searing pain shoots down my spine. I stumble to my knees. A blow delivered from behind, the death one never sees. The last thing I behold before the world exists no more are the looming towers over Castle Agincourt. The time has come to leave my mark, with blood spilled by the sword, and in the distance I can see the Towers of Agincourt. The time has come to leave my mark, with blood spilled by the sword, and in the distance I can see the Towers of Agincourt.
Elise, thank you so much. Our next performer is Annalita Falconbridge with the East Atlantia Alliance, performing By the Weight of the Chain.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you on this beautiful day. All songs have some element of story that's part of their creation, and this song is one about agency and hope and dreams and work. And I hope very much that one, you will sing along with the chorus because it's always much better when there's harmony, and two, that you have an opportunity to find a little bit of yourself in this piece as well. So it is my pleasure to present my piece, By the Weight of the Chain. When I was young, I watched the knights go riding, their armor so bright and their glory brighter still. My hands were small, but my dreams lay large around me. And once the goal had found me, I set out to gain my skill. By the weight of the chain of gold I wear upon me, by the white of the cloth about my body bound, by the spurs on my heels, I do swear before my honor to uphold the knightly virtues till I lay beneath the ground. When I was fledged, I served as I was able. I found worthy knights and asked to learn their ways. My form grew strong, sturdy plates I wore upon it. When I finally could don it and the heavy sword could raise, by the weight of the chain of gold I wear upon me, by the white of cloth about my body bound, by the spurs on my heels, I do swear upon my honor to uphold the knightly virtues till I lay beneath the ground. When I was grown, I followed into battle, 4 years of legend with my war kin at my side. My love was strong, 30 plates I wore upon it, finally could don it, and the heavy sword could raise. My internet connection is a little bit unstable, and so we're gonna vamp until it tells me that we're done. By the weight of the chain of gold I wear upon, by the white of the cloth about my body bound, by the spurs on my heels, I do swear upon my honor to uphold the knightly virtues till I lay beneath the ground. When I was grown, I followed into battle, warriors of legend with my war kin at my side. My mind grew calm, all their lessons moving through me. My foes could not undo me with these masters as my guide. By the weight of the chain of gold I wear upon me, by the white of the cloth about my body bound, by the spurs on my heels I wear upon my honor to uphold the knightly virtues till I lay beneath the ground. When I was raised, I stood before my sovereigns and my new kinsmen, and unto them pledged my troth. My heart is bold, to the best I shall endeavor to defend the dream forever that first took me toward my oath. By the weight of the chain of gold I wear upon me, by the white of the cloth my body bound, by the spurs on my heels, I do swear upon my honor to uphold the knightly virtues till I lay beneath the ground. When I was young, I watched the knights go riding, their armor so bright and their glory brighter still. My hands were small, but my dreams lay large around me, and now the goal has found me, I will ever heed its will. Thank you.
Thank you, Annalita. Our next performer is Leodon Leanne from the Middle Kingdom Alliance, performing Rules of the Rapier Bards.
Thank you all for having me. As a member of the Sternfeld Rapier Bards, I feel I needed to uphold. These are the rules of the Rapier Bard. Sing while you're swinging and fight very hard. These are the rules of the Rapier Bard. Sing while you're swinging and fight very hard. Put the pointy end into the other guy. Parry that shit and try not to die. Mind all the marshals and do as you're told. Drop to your knee when you hear 'em cry, hold. If you don't hurt your friends, you may live to grow old. These are the rules of the rapier bard. This is the song of the bold. Stab, stab, stabity stab. Stab, stab, stabity drop. Test your armor, check your sword tips. Duct tape the damage, repair all the rips. Wear a hood, mask, gorget, gloves, good boots that don't slip. And always take care of your gear. Stretch before a battle, don't arrive late. Authorize early, keep cards up to date. Show up well rested and always hydrate. And play for the fun without fear. Oh, these are the rules of the rapier bard. Sing while you're swinging and fight very hard. Put the pointy end into the other guy. Parry that shit and try not to die. Mind all the marshals and do as you're told. Drop to a knee when you hear 'em cry, hold. If you don't hurt your friends, you may live to grow old. These are the rules of the rapier bard. This is the song of the bold. Stab, stab, stabity stab. Stab, stab, stabity. Mind all the orders of sergeants in charge. Don't bring a weapon too long or too large. Don't step off the wall or the bridge or the barge. Don't fall off the end of the world. Calibrate shots. If you die, cry dead. March to the res point with swords overhead. The dead do not sing. There is not to be said, except hornets ahead, spread the word. Oh, these are the rules of the rapier bard. Sing while you're swinging and fight very hard. Put the pointy end into the other guy. Parry that shit and try not to die. Mind all the marshals and do as you're told. Drop to a knee when you hear 'em cry, hold. If you don't hurt your friends, you may live to grow old. These are the rules of the rapier bard. This is the song of the bold. Stab, stab, stabity stab. Stab, stab, oh. We rapier bards well may not win the fray. We may lose the melee, the battle, the day. But fight us with honor, we will have our say. When we sing of your deeds in our songs, you may take our banner and think that you gain. But fight without chivalry, we know your name. And it just happens to scan to green sleeves. Just saying. True immortality comes with the fame when we satirize you loud and long. Let me sing you a song about a man who would not die. Oh, yeah, yeah. These are the rules of the rapier bard. Sing while you're swinging and fight very hard. Put the pointy end into the other guy. Parry that shit and try not to die. Mind all the marshals and do as you're told. Drop to a knee when you hear 'em cry, hold. If you don't hurt your friends, you may live to grow old. These are the rules of the rapier bard. This is the song of the bold. Oh, these are the rules of the rapier bard. This is the song of the bold. Stab, stab, stabity stab. Stab, stab, stabity stab.
Thank you, Leodon. Our next performer is Gwendolyn the Graceful with the East Atlantia Alliance, performing Magnus' song.
If she can stop laughing long enough. So my dear friend Manus has been a member of the Order of the Chivalry for almost going on somewhere around nigh on 30 years, more or less. And several years back, he asked me to write a song because he seems to be one of those guys to whom all the things happen in the melee. So he wanted a song about sort of the average guy out on the battlefield. And this is Manus's song. I trudged to the battlefield, my spear in hand, and my helm sitting heavy on my head. Our muster point is on the far side this year, and soon I'll probably be dead. But as I stand in the line and wait for the marshals to call on, I scan the tabards in the foe's array and target my favorite one. His guards surround him and his sword is swift, and the chance that I'll kill their king is slim. But there's 1,000 guys like me and only one of him. The cannon fires and the lines advance, and our unit pulls round to take their flank. With crossbow loaded, I take careful aim for the foeman of the highest rank. The shot flies wide, but it gives me heart. For my quarry I've got a thirst. Soon I'll join him in the battle dance, if I don't have to resurrect first. His guards surround him and his sword is swift, and the chance that I'll kill their king is slim. But there's 1,000 guys like me, and only one of him. It's been 10 minutes since our last foray. We've been waiting while they called a hold. Though I'm no closer to the enemy king, I can see our epic fight unfold. We're off again, and like gods of death, we are slaying them right and left. At length I saw him just 2 paces away, but oh, what happened next? His guards surround him and his sword is swift, and the chance that I'll kill their king is slim. But there's 1,000 guys like me, and only one of him. His closest companion I dispatched with ease, and it got his attention all right. That foreign monarch turned to face me, it's true, and I poked my spear with all my might. He took 1 step, and so I gave ground to strike inside his shield, and tripped on my clansman where he'd just fallen slain, and they hadn't yet cleared the field. His guards surround him and his sword is swift, and the chance that I'll kill their king is slim. But there's 1,000 guys like me, and only one of him. So listen up if you would step the dance, and join me in the rank and file. The glories of battle do not come only once, but only once in a while. And next year when we take the field to fight for our kin and crown, I'll still be aiming for the noblest cause, to take the foe's king down. For his guards surround him and his sword is swift, and the chance that I'll kill their king is slim. But there's 1,000 guys like me, and only one of him. Yes, his guards surround him and his sword is swift, and the chance that I'll kill their king is slim. But there's 1,000 guys like me, and only one of him. Thank you very much. Enjoy all the other performances. This has been great.
And thank you, Gwendolyn. Our next performer is Dolan Maddock with the Middle Kingdom Alliance, performing Flowers.
I wrote this song for ladies we had known whose lives meant so much more than their well-deserved titles. Young buds in the morning, sparkling with the dew, a gentle breath of springtime makes the old seem new. Fiora joined our shield wall, and she joined with us in song, a gladsome boon companion, fiery and strong. Like daisies in the dawning, she dwelt with us a while, and though the mist of tears may come, remember well her smile. Some are drawn to glory, the honors of the field. Others seek the tourney and royal power wield. There are those who use their skill to garner great renown, while others look for land and wealth where'er it may be found. Yet there are greater treasures than power, fame, or gold. Consider well the lily, the heather, and the rose. The Lord, when he was here with us, beheld a bloom so fair. These lilies of the field, he said, are clothed beyond compare. Like that sacred blossom, well clothed in beauty she, likewise her joy and passion would shine for all to see. Few are they who have the strength to laugh at winter's call. Her courage was the parting gift Marie would share with all. Along the lakeside grow the fields and fill with purple hue, and always there the heather, like an old friend we all knew. Through summertime would Leyland play till autumn's chill came on. Her ransom then we gladly paid, she'd bide all winter long. Ah, but then at Cayley she would blossom with the spring, and with the sound of our laughter she would make the hillsides ring. Some are drawn to glory, the honors of the field. Others seek the tourney and royal power wield. There are those who use their skill to garner great renown, while others look for land and wealth where'er it may be found. Yet there are greater treasures than power, fame, or gold. Consider well the lily, the heather, and the rose. As you watch the flowers grow and wonder how they'll fare, from the first we knew we'd found a rose of blossom rare. All through the fields of broken tents, all through the wind and storm, a princess walked among her folk, her spirit kept them warm. Now when darkness comes again, Lenore is with us still, and walks within our memory as she forever will. Some are drawn to glory, the honors of the field. Others seek the tourney and royal power wield. There are those who use their skill to garner great renown,
while others look for land and wealth where'er it may be found. Yet there are greater treasures than power, fame, or gold. Consider well the lily, the heather, and the rose. Daisies thrive in sunlight, ferns prefer the shade. Knowing what each one might need is how a garden's made. Taking up this precious task, tending through the years, working, caring, sharing in so many joys and tears. Remember Luciana as the flowers bloom in spring. She wove a song for Callantyre, and through the years it rings. How does such a garden grow to offer blossoms rare? Who was first the gardener who kept them in her care? Tending each and every bloom, she'd watch the flowers grow, a patient and a loving heart, as ere we come to know. Rosamond would welcome us within her noble hall, and in doing so she gladly gave the greatest gift of all. So tend ye well the flowers, help each one as they grow. Within them find the lily, the heather, and the rose.
Okay, Dolan, thank you very much. Drake Orenwood is our next performer with the East Atlantia Alliance, performing Her Garden Grows.
Thank you. Greetings, my friends. Never let me be the one to break a theme. So I present to you a song composed in honor of our last royal, Margarita de Siena, the joy of the East, whose fate it was to lead our kingdom through not one, but two of the greatest calamities that ever befell it. So far from home, from her girlhood as a wandering singer, but her companion has promised her a grand surprise. Yes, sure enough, that's a royal coronet he brings her. Did I just see panic in her eyes? But that fades and it becomes a merry twinkle as she sees a kingdom hard at work and play, and her voice is sounding every day more regal, sharing praise and kindness as she may. She's out there singing as her garden grows, and she tends the earth and plants the seeds, so gentle yet firm. Where does she draw the strength from? No one knows, but she's up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows with her. Now she's alone, and behind her is our fallen tower, one night of storm, and her heart is like our shattered land. There's no man born who can heal us in this awful hour. What's our realm with no one in command? Then she stands and promises to do her duty, walking with us step for step and mile for mile, shows us all a kingdom that's awash in beauty, lifting up our spirits with her smile. She's out there singing as her garden grows, and she tends the earth and plants the seeds. She knows what to do. Where does she draw the strength from? No one knows, but she's up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows anew. She's never phased, nothing has the power to alarm her. Her voice when raised, or a whisper, still commands the hall. We watch amazed as she mounts a horse and fights in armor. Ever joyous she inspires us all. But what's this? A pestilence has swept upon us in our homes. We huddle mourning those struck down, yet her voice still marshals us, devoted, honest, heedless of the burdens of the crown. She's out there singing as her garden grows. She tends the earth and plants the seeds in sunshine or rain. Where does she draw the strength from? No one knows, but she's up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows again. The day is come. She's returning to the land she hails from. Her reign is done, one the like of which we've never seen. So well and long did she steer this ship through every maelstrom. In my heart she'll always be my queen. Never flinching has she faced each trial fateful. Can our kingdom bear to let this treasure go? From this distance will she see we're ever grateful. Through my tears I'm smiling, for I know she's out there singing as her garden grows. And she tends the earth and plants the seeds as she's done before. Where does she draw the strength from? No one knows, but she's up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows with her. Up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows with her. Up before the sun is, in her garden as it grows once more. Thank you.
Drake, thank you. And following that, we have Ambra Micheli with the East Atlantia Alliance performing Let Them Remember.
Greetings. Well, since we seem to be on a bit of a theme for noble crowns past, I tend to write what I am inspired to write. I'm often inspired to write songs about my knight, Cherrick Elbagandi. Well, her lord one day came to me jealously and said, "When are you going to write a song about me?" So on the day he stepped up to the crown field, he said, I whispered into his ear, I said, "Win the day and you will have your song." And win the day he did. And so when I went to him and I asked, "What would you have your song that you have earned this day convey?" This is my humble pen put to his words, called Let Them Remember. Warline breaker, hammer wielder, valor's child is Thurble who upon this field takes arms to prove his skill, his door. All for Cherrick Elbagandi, shield wall bracer, stalwart Valkyrie, for if love or sickness he would seek no cure. But in his mind he finds a voice of shadowed doubt, taunt on, and so he wonders. And so he wonders, what if I falter? What if I fail? What if upon this field of prowess I cannot prevail? Will I prove foolish or win the day? Few men before their time has ended, all their fate may say, but as his memories fade and all his glories seem to blur, this he remembers, this he remembers. I fight for her. Stands he now as tourney's victor, and in love he kneels before her, for to offer all he has and all he's yet to gain. Derek asks if they are worthy, or if pride will be their story, and for what good purpose might he truly seek to reign. And in his mind he finds a voice far bolder than his own, and so he answers, we will not falter, we will not fail. We will in any test of honor let honor prevail. We'll prove not foolish, and come what may, we'll let our deeds in history be but what the bards may say. And if their memories fade and all our glories seem to blur, let them remember, let them remember. I fight for her. It's our king and queen before us, with vivat and ardent chorus, as the burden of the crown sits heavy on the soul. As he meets each gaze before them, those who doubt or who adore him, cares he not the cost, he knows he'll pay the toll. For in his mind he finds a new resolve to call his own, yet still he whispers, this prayer he whispers. Let me not falter, let me not fail. Let Odin guide my better judgment as my course sets sail. Prove me not foolish, and come what may. Let me remember always those I live to serve, I pray. And if their memories fade and all our glory seem to blur, let them remember, let them remember. I fight for her. Yes, pray remember, always remember, we fight for her.
Thank you, Ambra. Next, our performer is Ronan Girson ta Rayutalati from the West Kingdom with Her Arms.
Hello. This song I wrote for my lady wife back when we were first dating, as she will always be the Valkyrie that holds my heart. A courtship started in my youth, one sunny spring day. With a sword in my hand and blood on my face, she did steal my heart away. One day she'll take pity on my soul and take me into her arms. One day she'll take me home forever to feast and lie in her arms. My lady has many suitors, but I am the most faithful. For years upon years I've sent gifts to her, and never has one she returned. One day she'll take pity on my soul and take me into her arms. One day she'll take me home forever to feast and lie in her arms. I've sent 2 kings, a prince and a bishop, for to carry her seed. 10,000 men have I graciously provided, all to worship at her feet. One day she'll take pity on my soul and take me into her arms. One day she'll take me home forever to feast and lie in her arms. My mistress hates to be forsaken, for I've got a new love at home. In a jealous rage, my Valkyrie has claimed me for her very own. One day she'll take pity on my soul and take me into her arms. One day she'll take me home forever to feast and lie in her arms. Today she takes me home forever to feast and lie in her arms. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ronan. Our next performer is Martin Bildner with the East Atlantia Alliance and performing the Saddle-Headed Verses.
This song I wrote last week in honor of the Bardic War. It tells the story of Grettir, who steals a horse and then taunts the owner as they go chasing across the known world. Veritrissu vori vered rauna launum versa hin vidstera vadmun klufa dufla, who rode the mare away, who should for it repay, who's a greater thief seen, what does the dark cow mean? Greater son of Aesmund returned home to Iceland, dark news there awaited, dark times for him fated. Tidings harsh, thick, and fast on a singer were cast, father dead, brother dead, and a price on his head. Grettir stayed aboard ship with no horse to equip, though the fates were scary, still he seemed quite merry. Dwelling up from thing that Sven could not be repressed, he often made verses, merry song and phrases. He was a good farmer, and he had a brown mare, swiftest of horses bred, Sven called her Saddlehead. Grettir went out one night, keeping from traders' sight, concealed in a black cloak, nesting Ness's farm folk. When he saw King's brown horse, he mounted it, of course, spotted by the workmen who told the news to Sven. Helmetry cloaked in black, on my saddle's head back, Trister stealing my mare from her home and pasture. Veretrissu vori vera rauna lamnum verfas in bedstera vadmun kuflindufla. Who rode my mare away, who should for it reast play, who's a greater thief seen, what does thou dark cow mean? Grettir rode after Sven rode after the thief, giving him no relief. Grettir rode on to Krop Amman, Hali he stopped. Tell all traveling this road you met, a horse borrowed by one loving, gambling by one loving, rambling. Holly went down the road and stopped, and as was told, the man in the black cloak bids you swallow his smoke. You saw that loafer ride, he sorely tries my pride. If his back I'd come near, I'll beat him blue, I swear. Veritrissu vori vera rauna larum versa in vidstera vatmun kuflindufla, who rode my mare away, who should for it repay, who's a greater thief seen, what does the dark cow mean? Grettir rode on further till he met a daughter. He stopped there to broach her, and on his game coach her. Mistress, go tell the jest that the serpent has best, with Odensel I'll ride mead of my words astride. The woman learned the road, so Grettir rode onward. Soon after Sven came by, and she was still outside. She told him, as was thought, Sven consider and thought, I think this man will be no playfellow for me. Sven restissu vori vera rauna laudum verles instead of vadmun kuflindufla, who rode my mare away, who should for it repay, who's a greater thief seen, what does the dark cow mean? They rode across the country, the weather was stormy, each could see the with Grettir in the lead. Grettir reached real backy where Grim asked him to stay with the wild tales he recounted. Sven came and dismounted. Grettir doffed his wet clothes, naked words he then chose. I rode your mare to Grim's, you are weak next to him. I'll pay not for his fire, but your friendship I desire. As I see you are poor, this ride is well paid for. Then each sang his own songs, Grettir could not find wrong with choices Sven had made or the prices he paid. Making jokes in twilight, Sven then stayed there all night with mirth, then they made amends and they parted good friends. Veris visivori vera rona laudum vers in festa stera vadmun kuflin dufla, who rode the mare away, who should for it repay? Who's a greater thief seen? What does dark cow mean?
And thank you, Martin. Next up, our performer is Pasha Starling Mayfair with the Western Alliance and performing the Song of Artemisia.
Greetings, good gentles. This is really a love song. If any of you have ever been fortunate enough to travel to the kingdom of Artemisia and know of the great mountains and the great high desert and the wonderful people, you will understand my feeling for this song. I dedicate this to my family, my chosen family, and everyone in my beloved kingdom. And thank you for listening to me. Hear the drums echo across the hillside. Hear the voices ringing in the glen. Hear the sound of yonder battle and the feet of many marching men and women. It is the song of Artemisia. Her voice is carried on the wind, and all stand proud by Artemisia, our home, our hope, and our friend. Hear the heart of Artemisia beating with gentle chivalry, and see the heads of Artemisia joined as one in solidarity. It is the song of Artemisia. Her voice is carried on the wind, and all stand proud by Artemisia, our home, our hope, and our friend. It is the song of Artemisia. Her voice is carried on the wind, and all stand proud. I stand proud by Artemisia, my home, my hope, and forever my friend.
Thank you, Pasha. Our next performer is Melisande de Bourges from the East Atlantia Alliance, performing Firebrand.
Great, I get to follow that. Yay! Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. This song was inspired by some of our most fiery queens of Trimaris. I am Joan on the field with a sword in my hand and an army of men at my back. I am Eleanor Bold marching south on crusade with a courage that all these men lack. I am Sabina Fair carving faces in stone, making saints live and breathe with my art. I am Grania and Grace, and I fight for my land, leading Ireland to follow its heart. I'm a firebrand, and my heart it is strong, though history thought I was weak. I'm a firebrand, and I will not take no, when silence is golden I speak. I am Maria Bright, who studies the stars and the arc of the planets on high. I am Eloise Strong, whose beauty and grace remains ever in Abelard's eye. I'm Elizabeth Queen, I'm Elizabeth Queen, holding fast to my throne in a role others say I can't fill. I am Isabel Free, who rode onto the field, ruling Spain with an ironclad will. I'm a firebrand, and my heart it is strong, although history thought I was weak. I'm a firebrand, and I will not take no, when silence is golden I speak. In history's measures, my light has been lost, buried and scattered through years. But when silence and solace were measures of worth, I set fire to all of my fears. I'm a firebrand, and my heart it is strong, though history thought I was weak. I'm a firebrand, and I will not take no, when silence is golden I speak. I'm a firebrand, and my heart it is strong, though history thought I was weak. I'm a firebrand, and I will not take no, when silence is golden I speak.
Thank you, Melisande. We have Delfina del Lago as our next performer with the Western Kingdom and From Whence Such Odor Foul.
I don't see myself. I actually just composed the lyrics, and I will be doing this on an improvisational style, but this is a basically true story. So, the bilge spilleth over, arose the bilge waters, dark, dank, and dead, maliciously thickened, came to a sudden head. Foulest frothy nuisance mud, why do you cling on with such fervor, skirting clouds of lowest growling timbers and humors vile? The stench of 1,000 ages past, rotten sod and mellifluous fog, we donned our shiny helmets of light, slung magic plungers to ward off the smog. wading, splashing, to open windows dashing. Oh, what a calamity! Call to arms, velocity! Save us from the stinky ooze. It's rising now to claim our booze. Can this truly be happening? Just as our souls rejoice in spring, the bitter snow descends again. Forced labor backs to strain, and my poor lord, his ankle sprained. What, alas, what must we do? We've never been in such a stew, and plaguish fears of course abound. What demons in our air or ground may tip the scales to sickness found? Ah, no, 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 no. We've lost so many crates, although our hovel is quite cramped with things. Perhaps an angel bent her wings towards us. It's a manner vile, yet we've thought to thin our hoard a while. Old things, new things, better chuck the slimy things, nasty cabinets, costly bundles of yore. It hits one right in the heart, so sore. It is a start, a headlong rush to crush piles shackling our minds and feet. It could be a juggernaut to being neat, 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 neat. Therefore, we sit and sort with mirth. We snort and chortle at the cheesy stuff we've wrested from the ruins rough. Though tears may fall as we recall the ones we've lost, our fortunes tossed, yet through the lens of splintered lives, our sense of hope at last revives. We've come this far, new pathways beckon. Oh, such tales to tell, and within that reckoning there's our peace, our souls release. The withered crones and selfish moans, the angst, the fears, the spearing leers of scorn, all gone deceased. So, if you're in the downed dumps of woe, perhaps a flood's the way to go. It's quite extreme. Mayhap a leaner version will serve to bend the curve of junk a-piling. But you'll find your way, I have no doubt. But please reach out for hugs and sage advice. We all have vices, past or present, and so resent intrusions unpleasant. Sometimes those squirmy emotional tolls can point the way to new controls. But if you're stuck, you can leave that hole. Your chirurgeon is in for your body and soul. You'll own your vices multi-past and present, and never forget the constant elements. Love, respect, generosity, wit, good humors, banish all the ick, to hit the fan, then disappear, to rarely rear its massive head. No, please don't lie down. This dragon's fed by sadness, illness, sorrow, fright, the icy feelings that cloy in the night. Let sunshine fill your life today. Bright floral blooms rise from decay, and in many other people's songs, and so shall we. I thank all ye who've graced this day. Of me you've made a merry maid of May. And if tears lost hope do in you resound, I know you'll land on solid ground. Many humble thanks to all. I am Lady Dauphina de Lago of Montgard in Abacal, in the alliance of the fair, fertile fields, mountains, lakes, and streams of the wild, wondrous West.
Thank you, Dauphina. Next, we have Cedar the Barefoot with the East Atlantia Alliance. Nobilis Cedar the Barefoot.
My apologies. It seems that my edit didn't get through. I accidentally put my title in place of my actual song title. The song is entitled The Birth of Sleipnir. I figured that many songs and cultures have their songs and stories about their black foxes, their white stags, and such, things that are more than meet the eye. So I figured the North folk should have one too. Time and time again, I wander through the wood. I never really worried whether or not I really should. I track the trails of game with my bow strung at my side. It was on a morning hunt when I gained an unlikely ally. The leaves from the trees had fallen upon the ground. Carefully I went, determined to make no sound. It was on a passing breeze that I heard a mournful cry. I ran in that direction, though I'm not very sure I know why. I came upon a clearing and arrow knocked on my bow. There before my eyes was a great formidable foe. A pregnant red mare was leaned upon a tree. She huffed, she brayed, she spat. She laid her large eyes upon me. She let out a painful shriek, the mare she could barely stand. Down I set my bow and extended a soothing hand. The mare she stomped the ground and shook me to my soul. Her breathing was distressed. It was time that she drop her foal. She crumpled to the ground and heaved an angry sigh. I strengthened my resolve and I hurried to her side. I whispered in her ear and I gently stroked her mane. She watched me warily until her sweet son came. When first I saw the foal, I found myself afeared. He was an oddity, an eight-legged horse so queer. His fur was charcoal black, his eyes were milky white. The mare nuzzled him proudly. Enchanted was I by the sight. With a snort of great effort, she pushed herself to stand. She reared up and whinnied an echo across the land. She grew taller and taller and taller and taller and taller and taller and towered over me, no longer a mare. Now beheld the form of Loki. Their long and wild hair shone red in the rising sun. I knew the scarred lips, I knew the silver tongue. I froze where I knelt, I could hardly believe my eyes. But the god stepped up beside me, and they smiled to my surprise. It is strange to have a friend, the trickster said to me. I thank you for your care, I swear to let you be. For the rest of your days, I promise you need not fear to hear the name of Loki, nor their eight-legged son Sleipnir. The foal he shuffled closer, laying his head in Loki's lap. I watched the god of mischief, I waited for the trap. With a gentle twist of cedar, the foal was bright and clean. There was love in Loki's eyes, a sight no one had ever seen. I kissed the foe goodbye and stroked his silken coat. He pranced after his mother, a whinny in his throat. The god, they smiled at him, and together they disappeared. 'Twas the last I saw of Loki and their eight-legged son Sleipnir. Be alert and be fair when wandering in the wood. One day you might be standing where I once stood. Take away what you will from this strange tale of mine, but you never really know what is more than meets the eye.
Cedar, thank you for that. Our next performer is Marcial de Salas from the Middle Kingdom Alliance, performing alongside Griffin's Light. In just a moment, as they queue up.
Saludo. I am the Honorable Lord Marcial de Salas, hailing from North Shield, on behalf of the Mid-Realm Alliance. This song is called Alongside Griffin's Light, and it was inspired by something I read in the Northwatch many years ago, the unfortunate passing of a Crimson of Atenveld. I didn't know her, but she did inspire this song. And Griffin's Light, it is the star that was gifted to North Shield on the occasion of our becoming a kingdom. So, in keeping with who I am, I feel that it is better to celebrate rather than to grieve. So, for Crimson, for Gabriel, for Margaret Weaver, for Astrid of the Yellow Rose, for Kudrin Pilgrim, and for Cristoforo Alfonso Pallavicino da Firenze, and for anyone else who you might wish to add to this. Oh, my sister, you're right to eternal life, no longer encumbered by sickness and strife. And though you have left us, we'll praise you in song. Your fire's extinguished, but your light still shines on. And Hall of Great North Shield shall look to the sky. The night sky shines brighter each evening you rise. I shall drink to your memory, I'll raise my glass high. With smiles and laughter, I'll honor your life. To hell with the sorrow I see with plain sight. You shine down upon us alongside Griffin's light. When the revel of life is still and over, and its bonfires burn down to cool ember, we will gather and warmly tell stories of you, partake in and joy of the lasting you brewed. The drummers shall beat out the rhythm all night, and the dancers shall dance in your honor tonight. I shall drink to your memory, I'll raise my glass high. With smiles and laughter, I'll honor your life. To hell with the sorrow I see with plain sight. You shine down upon us alongside Griffin's light. Well, the story of your life has come to an end. The manor of Rockland lost master and friend. Oh, we'll always remember the great woven art, the the strength and convictions you held in your heart. Your pen and your needle authentically plied, made yours and Fiona's name known far and wide. I shall drink to your memory, I'll raise my glass high. With smiles and laughter, I'll honor your life. To hell with the sorrow I see with plain sight. You shine down upon us alongside Griffin's light. Now our bright yellow rose takes her place in the sky, our most demure flower, so bashful and shy. Whose voice summoned the thunder and who made scribal art, and within whose breast beat the fierce dragon's heart. A mischievous smirk and a twinkling eye accompany every flash from on high. I shall drink to your memory, I'll raise my glass high. Smiles and laughter, I'll honor your life. To hell with the sorrow I see with plain sight. You shine down upon us alongside Griffin's light. Now, sweet pilgrim, your journey has led you to peace, while gleefully singing bowed often some priest. You were equal parts jester, and scholar and friend, who made brassy trumpets of many good men. With ease and with joy you wrangled mad bards, your boisterous laugh will live on in our hearts. I shall drink to your memory, I'll raise my glass high. With smiles and laughter, I'll honor your life. To hell with the sorrow I see with plain sight. You shine down upon us alongside Griffin's light. Let us now raise our glasses and toast to the man whose knowledge was sought when it came to Japan, who looked darling as could be when donning a gown. With strength on the list field had brought him renown. A sweet loving soul, how all would describe, the serious and generous, inspiring scribe. I shall drink to your memory, I'll raise my glass high. With smiles and laughter, I'll honor your life. To hell with the sorrow I see with plain sight. You shine down upon us alongside Griffin's light. We'll guide our life by your light and honor your name. Ducere, ministrare, illuminare. Thank you very much.
Well, good gentles all, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the performers as much or more than I did. As a host, it's really hard to keep neutral about the performers when I love them all so much. Really a great time. I'd also remind all the attendees that the live war points are being recorded and shared later on YouTube, as are the asynchronous and many other things. There's a Bardic Circle going on right now in the main social room in the Bardic breakout room. So for any who want to go there, the Coastal Bardic is going on. And when those hosts are done, I'll be happy to stay up all night with as many people as want to go. Thank you, and have a great night, day, afternoon, time.